Armed Taliban militants were looking for Shah. They knew he worked as an interpreter for the United States government and came to his provincial home at night. Someone inside worked for the US Army, they shouted, threatening to shoot down the door. Shah had already left for Kabul, where he is now in hiding. But he believes he is a hunted man. "I'm not feeling safe here anymore," said Shah, whose application for a special immigrant visa to the United States is still in the works. "The Taliban say they are not taking revenge and they are forgiving everybody," he said. "But I can't believe them. Why did they come to my house looking for me?" There are thousands like Shah, stuck in Afghanistan under a capricious and unpredictable Taliban rule, who did not make it onto US military evacuation flights, those who worked for the US Army or the government, and their families, and who were eligible for US humanitarian visas. They know they are potential targets as the Taliban tighten their grip since taking over Kabul fully this week. Taliban leaders have pledged to allow those with visas to leave once they reopen the main airport, which remained closed to commercial flights on Friday. But those like Shah doubt the pledges of a group that they feel they cannot trust and that has ruled Afghanistan ruthlessly before. Trying to leave or showing a special immigrant visa could itself expose them to danger if the Taliban renege on their promises. So with the Taliban firmly in control on the street, they have gone into hiding. One US government contractor and humanitarian visa applicant said he had gone underground, literally, with his pregnant wife and one-year-old daughter in a system of tunnels. He said he didn't believe Taliban promises and didn't plan to risk leaving his hiding place. There are also potentially hundreds of thousands of other Afghans, aid agency workers, officials from the defunct government, media employees, prominent women, who are fearful and laying low. They are also eager to leave. This week, after evacuation flights from Kabul ended, there were reports of hundreds of people massing at border crossings with Iran and Pakistan. "It's because the country is collapsing," said Astrid Sletten, a foreign aid worker who has remained in Kabul. "And everybody has a sister or daughter and wondering what it is going to be like to be living under a Taliban regime." She added, "I think some people are literally saying I'd rather die than live in a Taliban regime." Despite Taliban pledges that no punishment would be exacted on anyone, many Afghans question the ability of the Taliban leadership to control their battle-hardened fighters. Former government officials, aid workers and diplomats say Taliban leaders have barely managed to keep their well-armed rank and file in check. And there is deep uncertainty about when, even that relative restraint will end. On Friday, an uneasy calm settled on Kabul, 4 days after the Taliban took over and the last American forces left. Afghans waited for the Taliban to announce its new government. In Kabul, the few women venturing out have been able to wear head scarves rather than the face-covering burqa the Taliban imposed during its previous rule, and several dozen protested outside the palace, demanding the inclusion of women in a new government. The Taliban's leaders are still talking about showing inclusiveness. But they have made clear in filling lower-ranking positions so far that they are choosing from among their own. And as the economy spiraled deeper into crisis, with sharply rising prices and dwindling hard currency, many say they are eager to leave, particularly those eligible for the US Special Immigration Visa, an emergency humanitarian visa that has been granted to interpreters and others who worked for the US Army.